What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Another week means another slate of NFL action, and boy, do we got ourselves an interesting slate. Before that, I just want to say tonight, Game 3 of the National League Central Division of the National League Championship Series, Brewers Dodgers. Got my Brewers garb. I need to start doing these videos in football stuff. So, but yeah, anyways, so we are here. We got ourselves a fun slate today. Fun slate this year, and we're also starting to reach trade deadline season. So, so far there's not been a lot of trade. There's been some trade rumors, but not a lot. The first one we're going to start with is obviously Trey Hendrickson, the star edge rusher for the Cincinnati Bengals. There's been a lot of talk. There was a whole dispute with him in the offseason about him wanting to leave. He didn't, he left. He didn't want to play with them. He wanted a long-term extension. They didn't get a long-term extension done, but they got an agreement that kept him satisfied. And now as the Bengals sit at 2-4, slowly drifting out of playoff contention, slowly, anyone's technically still in it except the Jets, but with Joe Burrow out, the Bengals might just choose to sell at the deadline. Trey Hendrickson, apparently it looks like the Eagles have called on him. The Cowboys are interested, 49ers. So many teams are interested in the services of Trey Hendrickson. It'll be curious to see where he winds up. Another name that's been listed is Devon Achane from Miami. There's a report that I saw a few minutes before I am recording this that said the Seahawks have interest in Devon Achane, which would be weird with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, but they would probably part with Rick Woolen, former pick 2022, thought he'd have a great year, kind of fell off, hasn't done a lot. So that's another name to look at. Jets are getting calls on some of their players. I think Jermaine Johnson they've gotten a few calls on. We'll see what happens there. I think Alvin Kamara, now in a reverse fashion, Alvin Kamara, the star running back for the Saints, there's been rumors that he's going to get traded because the Saints haven't been very good. But apparently he went to the Saints front office and told him that he doesn't want to be traded. Says that he will stick with the Saints no matter what the outcome of the season is, which we don't see a lot of in today's game. Alvin Kamara being loyal to the team that drafted him. So yeah. So then we got ourselves a nice slate of games like I talked about, starting with the Thursday night game tonight. 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers head to Cincinnati to play 40-year-old Joe Flacco and the Bengals. Bengals will be wearing those whiteout jerseys that they debuted not too long ago, a few years back. Perfect look. I got Pittsburgh winning this 34-27. Aaron Rodgers has turned back the clock and has looked pretty decent in Pittsburgh. And I think Pittsburgh moves to 5-1. That defense is really good. Like I said, Joe Flacco, I think will play decent, kind of like he did against Packers on Sunday. But I think at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is gonna turn back the clock. So then we have our last London game of the 2025 season. The 4-2 Los Angeles Rams versus the 4-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. I got the Rams winning this one 28-23. I think it's going to be a good game, especially because Jacksonville has actually been competitive this year. Obviously, the Rams we don't need to go into much detail about. They're competitive year in and year out. I just think Kyren Williams is going to be the deciding factor in this game. So then, moving on to the rest of the slate on Sunday, we got Spencer Rattler and the 1-5 Saints head to Chicago to play Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the 3-2 Chicago Bears. I got the Bears winning 35-17. I think Rome Odunze is going to have a great game. I think Colson Loveland's going to get a touchdown. I think that defense is going to torture Spencer Rattler. That's another name who could be traded. It's Chris Olave. Teams are calling on him. He's in a contract year. And there's a lot of receiver needy teams out there that would love to have his services. So he's a name to watch as well. Then it's the 1-5. Then it's the mid bowl. The 1-5 Dolphins and the 1-5 Browns. Tua versus Dylan Gabriel. I have Cleveland winning this 21-17 because I don't know. I like Cleveland's defense better than Miami's. Miami is also looking to trade assets. Jalen Phillips. I'm assuming they're going to get calls on Bradley Chubb. So, but I think Quinshon Judkins is going to have a great game against that Miami defense. I think Judkins is going to run all over them. I think Dylan Gabriel is going to look better than he has the last few weeks. I mean, not that he's looked terrible, but I think he's going to look better than what he has. Then we got Geno Smith and the 2-4 Raiders against the 3-3 Chiefs. I have the Chiefs winning 34-20. I think Geno Smith is going to be the downfall for the Raiders. I know it looked like a good trade in hindsight when the Raiders got Geno Smith because he's familiar with Pete Carroll. Carroll coached him in Seattle. But it just hasn't worked. Geno Smith looks washed. He doesn't look like the quarterback that he was in Seattle. I think Ashton Genty's going to have a decent game, but I think he's really going to be a Max Crosby is a name who could be on the block, but I don't think he is, only because he did just sign a new contract with the Raiders, so I think he's going to stick around. Then it's Saquon and the Eagles versus Justin Jefferson, Carson Wentz, and the Vikings. Carson Wentz plays his old team. I think he unfortunately loses. I think he loses 27-26 Philadelphia win because, well, they're going to get a random tush-push touchdown or field goal or something. And I think my hot take is I think A.J. Brown is going to actually have a great game. Yeah. Then we got the surprisingly 3-3 Carolina Panthers heading to the Meadowlands to play the currently winless New York Jets. And I think it is going to stay that way. I have Carolina winning 30-20. I think Rico Dowdle is going to have another great game. Especially if Chuba Hubbard's back. I think this is Dowdle's job to lose, though. Bryce Young, I think it's going to look decent. Nothing too special. The Jets, just going to have to figure out what they're going to do because I have them starting 0-7, so I don't think anybody expected them to be this bad. Oh. Whoops. Drake May, Mike Vrabel, and the Patriots next go to Tennessee, who just fired Brian Callahan. So Mike McCoy, former Chargers head coach, takes over as the interim coach. And I think in Mike Vrabel's revenge game versus Titans, I think their Patriots are going to win 37-17. I just have a gut feeling Mike Vrabel seems to be the perfect coach for Drake May. I think Ramondre Stevenson's going to have a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry. I think Christian Gonzalez is going to have fun against those Titans receivers. I think Elik Iomenor has a solid game for Tennessee, but I think he's the only one that has a solid game. And New England moves to 5-2 with that victory, which is insane to think about. Then we got the 2-4 Giants and Jackson Dart against the Bo Nix and the 4-2 Broncos. I think this game is going to be close. I have Denver winning 27-24. I just think it's going to be close because Jackson Dart has looked really good. Cam Scatterbo has looked good too, so I think they're going to dominate this game. But I think at the end of the day, Bo Nix, Denver Broncos are going to get it done. Then we got Indiana Jones and the Colts heading to Inglewood, California to play the Chargers. I have the Chargers winning 28-24. Though this game took me a bit because I feel like it could go either way. But I just think the Chargers are going to take this one just because I think the Colts' miracle run is going to somewhat end. It's not going to end fully, but it's just going to subside a bit this week. Then we got Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Micah Parsons, and those 3-1-1 NFC North leading Green Bay Packers to Arizona to face Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals. Sounds like Kyler Murray's going to be out, so I have Green Bay winning 28-21. I might change that score for the Cardinals. I don't know, because Jacoby Brissett wasn't terrible last week. It's just the Colts outplayed them. and just dominated. So I think it's gonna be kind of like that. I think Josh Jacobs is gonna have a field day against the Cardinals. Hopefully, Micah Parsons can get involved. So I have Green Bay moving to 4-1-1 on the year. Then America's Game of the Week. It's Jaden Daniels and those Washington Commanders heading to Dallas to play the 2-3-1, sorry, Dallas Cowboys. I have Washington winning this game 35-33. I think it's going to be like that game that the Cowboys had week 2 against the Giants, where it's going to be a high scoring game. But this time, I think Washington walks away with the victory. I don't know. I just like Jaden Daniels against Dallas. So then the Sunday night game, for whatever reason, Michael Bijan Robinson and the Falcons head to San Francisco to play Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers. I got San Francisco winning 30-28. Now, I have no idea who's starting for the 49ers. They haven't said anything about Brock Purdy being ready. So I assume it's going to be Mac Jones. If it's Mac Jones, maybe I have Atlanta winning. Bijan, I think, they have a great game. Michael Penix looked solid in last week's victory against Buffalo, which is insane to say. So, yeah. Then we got first 2 Monday night games. It's surprising they're still doing 2 Monday night doubleheaders at this late in the season. Normally they only do them like the first 3 weeks. It's the probable MVP to start the year, Baker Mayfield, and Tampa Bay heading to Detroit to play the Lions. I have Tampa Bay winning this game 35-31. I like Baker Mayfield this year. He has all of his weapons out, but he still looks really good. So, I don't know. I like this matchup. And then to close out the slate, we got the Texans at the Seahawks. I have Seattle winning 27-21. I think Cooper Kupp finally gets like an extended look with the Seahawks. And yeah, there's not much to ramble about with this game. I mean, this week could be better for games, but also could be a lot worse. So, yeah, that's pretty much all the slates for week 11, week 7, not week 11, jeez. We still got another month. So before I close out this video though, I just want to give a rundown of like some stuff that I have coming up on this channel. So I'm working on a few videos right now. I'm just finishing the script for one of them. It is a baseball related video, so we'll see when that gets done. I might try to get it done before the World Series is figured out and all that stuff. I got a college football video coming out. You'll see why when I release it and whatnot. And I'm actually working on an NBA, kind of like what I did for the NFL. I'm kind of working on like an NBA preview video right now that I'm gonna probably have to try to get done, because the first games are one of the first NBA games. I think the first games that count, I think, are Tuesday. So I'm going to have to get it out before Tuesday, if not on Tuesday. So, yeah, that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you all have a safe trip in the next one. Peace.